Today I'm doing something entirely new and something I've wanted to try for years. I'm going to do some hot tent camping. This is my first experience with this equipment and my first experience with having an overnight winter camp. So come along and let's see how it goes. The tent that I'm trying out is a product that's called an Isola TP4. It's made by a company called Lite Outdoors, which manufactures or designs these tents in Lethbridge, Alberta, which is part of Canada. It's designed for winter camping for 2 people with the stove in, and 4 people could sleep in it without the stove and without gear. So I think for 1 person, it's going to be ideal. I purchased a new little stove called Firehiking. When I first got the stove, I set it up outside in my backyard and I burned it off. And so it's good to go. I put the tent up once in my backyard, but now I'm going to put the 2 together and then I'm going to spend the night out here. Well, this little tent's now up. It's I'm not too happy with a couple of the corners, but I'll work on that. But when I had it up in my yard a couple of weeks ago, I put on all the guy out ropes. They send a good lot of cordage. It's reflective cordage, lightweight with the tent, as well as the little tabs for the tighteners. So I was pleased about that, and I have some left over, so that's great. Can always use cordage. In fact, I'm going to use it, I think, for going out the chimney in my stove today. So what I'm going to do now is carry on with the setup, and then we can talk about this tent some more. The stove comes with this little case and fits everything in there just fine. I burned it off and it's all changed colors, and I have done the chimney and burned that. There is a damper here that goes on the stove and a spark arrestor. Oh, and it does come with these gloves, which you really do need when handling the chimney. The edges are is a titanium stove, and it weighs just around 6 pounds, but the edges of the chimney are really sharp. So I'm going to put this together now and pop it into the tent. Okay, well, if the chimney just rolls out just fine, I'm now just putting these rings on, work up the chimney. One of the reasons I picked this particular stove is because it does have some reinforcements in areas to reduce some of the warping caused by the heat. It did warp, but once I get it all put back together again, you'll see that it sits really quite well. The legs are under here. There's more reinforcement against warping there, and also on the side without the window. Okay. Lid goes on. That really stiffens it up. There. All right, we'll put this on here. It comes off with these little screws. Take these off now. All right, there we go. That's all there was to that. Now the legs are under here. And there you are. It's got a nice little door here, good visibility, and can shutter down this way. That's today's. And over on this side, we've got the glass as well. So I'm going to go set this up in the tent. Okay, there's the little stove, and let's talk about this tent now that it's up. I've never had a hot tent, but it's something I've wanted to do for a really long time. And I thought, I'm not getting any younger. If I want to do it, I might as well get at it. Just off the top, I want to say that this is a tent and stove that I bought. I am not sponsored by either of these companies. So now that's out the way, we can carry on. For 1 or 2 people, I think this tent would be great. This tent is evidently weighed in at 4 pounds 5 ounces. And the new tent that they make, the one that they're making all the time now, is 15 ounces lighter than that. They're designed for backpackers, and I'm not going to backpack with it. I have a backpacking tent and I'm not going backpacking in the winter. This is more for shoulder season for me. I want to try out a few times this winter, but mainly to extend the season, the camping season for me. Early spring, early fall, or late fall. That's really what I want it for, and it's pretty chilly a lot of the time. So I thought if I could have a little stove, I'd be able to be warmer and go out a little bit longer. It's 8.75 feet on the side and the back, so it's a square, and it comes to 76 square feet total floor space. As you can see, it has a good snow skirt all around. We don't get a lot of snow here on Vancouver Island, but we get some, so it would be kind of fun. I wouldn't mind trying it in some snow. The seams are all well taped. It's got 2 vents at the top for ventilation, and it also has a 2-way zipper, so I know I can open the top if I want to let some more heat out. So that's handy. I know that'll be a good thing. There's no windows in it, but it did come with the stove jack, and all I had to do was cut the hole. They leave the hole cutting to the purchaser because different stove chimneys are different diameters. It was very simple to do. I didn't have any problem doing it, and there's a video on their website that tells you how to do it. I put on all of the guy outs, but like I think I said earlier, they provide this excellent rope, and there's lots left over. There are numerous stakeout points, so if you felt that you needed to really batten it down for a windstorm, you sure could. I have overkill with these spikes that I had to use today, but I knew that that's what it would be like in the campsite. The normal tent pegs that you would use in the soft ground, the duff over here, the tent pegs that came with this are totally adequate, but I needed big strong stakes that I could hammer into this very well used hard ground. It also comes with 12 stakes, so you've got lots of stakes. The material itself is actually a 20D ripstop nylon, and it has a coating of silicone polyurethane, sorry. And so it should be waterproof right out of the bag with the sealed seams. Here we are. It looks pretty cozy, doesn't it? Okay, I'm pretty happy with it. And I do have a carbon monoxide detector, which is hanging from the roof. So just in case anybody's wondering. All right, fire's going. Well, isn't this a bit of all right? Yeah, this is very nice. But you notice I have the door open. It's just not that cold yet. But I've got some popcorn, and I've got a drink, and I'm going to sit here in front of my little fire. There's a surprising amount of room in here, although, I mean, it seems quite spacious, really. I mean, for one person, absolutely. But with 2, I think if you were going to sit by the fire, you just put both beds over on one side until it was time to go to bed, and then you'd still have more than half the tent. You'd have 3/4 of the tent left to sit and be comfortable, and cook in here. I'm going to try cooking on this little stove for tonight, and I've got something pretty straightforward, nothing gourmet, but should be tasty. And I'm just going to sit here and enjoy this little experience. I've waited a long time to be sitting in front of a little fire in my tent, and Planet Hot Tenting. So that's what I'm going to do tonight. All right, see you in a while. Well, I think I'm going to try and start to cook some dinner. And the occasional shower is now turning into rain. So this is going to be a really good test of this little tent. Just they're all going in. And I'm going to put these chops right on the side. I don't think I'll eat both, but oh, that sounds good. Looks like dinner is nearly done. So, look at those little chops. Okay, I'm sitting here relaxing, listening to my music, and the rain is, it's not West Coast rain. This is rain that's just sort of more normal rain. And suddenly I notice there's a whole lot of water coming in this tent. I'll show you. I don't know if you can see that, but what I've done is I brought some Tyvek, and then I put my indoor-outdoor on top of it. And as you can see, there is a lot of water, and all of a sudden I started noticing it running in under various things. And here's my bed. So what I've done is I put some pieces of kindling wood underneath to hold the Tyvek up so that the water can hopefully drain off to the other side. This is me in a tent that doesn't have a bathtub floor. And now, you know, it's reinforcing after all these years. I've always had a tent with a floor. This is my first tent without a floor, even though it's got about a 9-inch snow barrier out, and I've stretched it all out. I was hoping that that would be enough to keep the rain off, but obviously it's not. So I'm going to still stick it out tonight. My bed's not wet. We'll see what happens. I'm not terribly far from home, and I could go home in the middle of the night, but it's not a desirable outcome, and because I'm quite comfortable in here. But there is something happening that I'm not happy about. I think I need to tie back the whole bottom. I need to get a piece or tape together a piece that's going to fit the whole inner tent. This is why I'm at a campsite with new gear. I'm at a campsite which is quite close to home, and I don't think I'm going to have to bail tonight. Literally bail. So we'll see what happens by the morning. This is a fun experience, really. I'm enjoying it all. And, good morning. I made it through the night. That's great. Actually, it was pretty good. I slept until 7:15. It's still dark out. It's about 7:30 now. And so that's 15 hours of darkness. This qualifies as a very short day. And it's going to be cloudy with some showers later today. So all's well so far. And I'm glad that I made it through the night. And I actually had some decent sleep. Well, I'm cooking up some bacon and an egg for breakfast this morning. I've got my English muffin warming up on the stove. The reason I'm not cooking on this stove is because I'm trying to I have enough heat in here to stay reasonably warm, but I also want to let this stove go out. Once it gets a bit lighter, I'll be packing up. Looking good. how did my first hot tent experience go? Overall, I'm pretty pleased with it. I need to find a better way to stay dry with a bottomless floor tent. So that's okay. I'm sure some of you will be sending me some ideas. At least I'm hoping you are going to, and I'm going to do some looking. So I'll figure it out. The tent itself was fine. It was a really, really good size for me. For one person, and I could see for two, you just have to rearrange things a bit. I kind of spread out because I had the option to, and so why not? It was very comfortable. I felt that the tent itself did not leak, and despite a pretty heavy rain. I was happy about that. The condensation level was low because I kept the stove on all night. I slept well. I had a very good mattress, and I had a foamy underneath. Plus I had the tie back under that. And so my bed was not wet except for where a little bit of condensation hit the wall and made the outer of my sleeping bag a bit wet. I found cooking on the little stove worked fine. Didn't have a problem. And the little stove, the Firehiking stove, I'm very pleased with that. Like all wood stoves, you have to get to know them, although it was not cold, I've got to tell you, but it was damp. It was definitely damp, and that little stove just kept that chill, that damp chill off me and everything inside the tent. Everything was great, and I just have a couple of little glitches to sort out. So I think for a first go, I'd say it was at least an 8. I just had the water coming in was not the tent's fault. It wasn't the fault of the gear. I'm very happy with the rest of my gear, and I do like the tent, so I'm going to figure out a way to make this work. So thanks for joining me on this dark 15 hours of dark. The solstice is in 2 days, so we're basically there. A couple more minutes isn't going to make much difference, but it was dark, and I had a movie on my iPad, I had a book, I was making dinner, and I found the time went really fast. And taking down everything is just bundled into the back of my car. This is the advantage of car camping, and I can take it home and spread it all out in my garage. So thanks a lot for watching and coming along, and all suggestions are welcome. So until next time, I'll see you in the hot tent. Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays or whatever you're celebrating over this solstice season. I hope you have a wonderful time with your family and friends, and that you stay well for 2024. Bye now.